mathematicians, welcome back to another video. Before we get to linear functions, proportional functions, etc. in the next video, we are going to talk about a few basic things at first. A few words that you might heard before. Function, relation, domain, codomain, graphs, vertical, horizontal line tests. All of this today, it's really important, watch it. And once there's a dedicated function playlist available, you can find it on there in the top of the description, info box, etc. Other than that, we only have the linear functions playlist right now, also can be found everywhere. So watch all of this stuff, it's going to be really important for your calculus career, and now we are going to dive right in. So at first we want to talk about what a function actually is. And if we talk about functions, most of the time you're going to denote it with a, well, tiny little f right here. And you might have heard before that a function is nothing but a relation in mathematics. It's some kind of mapping that is going to take values in. We are going to get those values out of the domain, and we are going to map those values to the codomain. Might sound weird at first, but it's actually kind of intuitive if you think about the function f like a computer or machine in some way. If we have f of x, for example, this is the notation that you are going to find in a normal case. Then imagine f of x to be like a calculator. F is your calculator, x is the display, basically. And what you do is you type in numbers. For example, x is your 3 plus 5, okay? You're going to put 3 plus 5 into your calculator f. You're going to press answer key. And what is going to happen? Something is going to work in the background. For example, if your calculator works like this, it's going to be x plus 2. Then you are going to put the number 3 into here. And then you are going to get something out on the other side. Meaning, we are going to take x values out of the domain. We are going to plug them into here one by one, and then we are going to get y values out on the other side, out of the codomain. Simple example, f of 3 is, okay, put a 3 into your calculator, then you are going to plug the 3 into here, 3 plus 2, and what you're going to get out on the other side is a 5, okay? This is just what's going to happen. 3 out of the domain, plugged into your f, is going to spit out a value on the other side, out of the codomain. And this is how a function basically works. But a function is only really a function if each and every element out of the domain is going to be mapped to only one y value. Meaning, if we were to put this into a graph, okay, just to make the point a bit more clear. If we take a look at this linear function, it's going to have a lot of x values, infinitely many. For example, this right here is an x value, or we have this right here being an x value. Then, each and every x value only corresponds to exactly one y value. Meaning, this x value is going to correspond to this y value. This x value is going to correspond to this y value, and so on. This is what a function actually is. Is there like a counterexample? What's not a function? So can we think about something that is not a function? Well, there are infinitely many examples yet again. Let's take an easy one. Let's take this shape right here. Why exactly is this not a function? Let's think about it. Well, let's choose any old x value. Let's choose this one right here. If we were to extend the line here, this is where the vertical line test is going to come in later, then this x value is going to correspond to two y values. This one right here, and also this one right here. Hence, not a function, it's just a mapping, it's just a relation, but not a function in the proper sense. This is what a function is, okay? Keep it in mind. Each and every x value is going to be mapped to exactly one y value. Now we can have this spiel the other way around, basically. We can have that every y value is going to correspond to exactly one x value, okay? And for this, we can take this example yet again. Doesn't matter which y value, we are going to take this one or this one. If we were to extend a horizontal line to here, it's going to correspond to exactly one x value, respectively. If something like this happens, we are going to call this function one-to-one. It's an important thing you want to take into consideration, because those functions are actually invertible. We can find an inverse of this function if the function is also onto, but that's a matter of higher mathematics. But for your school life, just take it as it is. If a function is one-to-one and the function in itself is going to be invertible in your sense. Okay, so this is all about basically what a function is, what a relation is. Then we had some graphing to do, and now for the horizontal and vertical line tests. Those are used in schools to determine if a function is a function in the first place and if it is a function, if it is a one-to-one function, basically. So let us take a look at another example, okay? And we're going to demonstrate the vertical line test and the horizontal one with this example. Let us take a polynomial of the third degree, plot it into a graph. And now we are going to go through the same process we had before. We want to see if this thing is actually a function. Now we are going to make use of the vertical line test. What you do is you place vertical lines everywhere. Take your ruler in some way, put it here, put a vertical line here. Doesn't matter, put a vertical line here or put it here. If your vertical line intersects your graph once and only once, then it's a function. Intersects only once. Intersects only once, only once. This right here is indeed a function. That's the vertical line test. Can we find a counterexample for something that's not a function? Well, yes, we had this before. If we were to put a vertical line into here, well, it's going to intersect or cross our graph at two different points. Hence, it's not a function. Vertical line test, extremely useful. Same to be for spirals, for example. If we have some kind of spiral here, that's definitely not a function, because put your vertical line into here and it's going to intersect at 4 points even, not a function. Now what about the horizontal line test? Well, it works accordingly, and the horizontal line test is the same one as the vertical line test, just that it's going to determine if a function is actually one-to-one. Meaning, let us take this function yet again that we just had, let's put it here, and now we are going to use horizontal lines instead of vertical lines. Horizontal line here, put some horizontal lines into here, and you're going to notice that those horizontal lines are going to intersect your function only once. Meaning, if this happens, just like with the vertical line test, we're going to have a function that is one-to-one and also a function. Hey, this kind of works here, right? I mean, we can do the vertical line test. At first, hey, it's a function. Who would have thought that? I mean, it intersects here, here, and here. And even cooler, this function is also one-to-one. We can put horizontal lines into here. Doesn't matter where we put them, they are going to intersect our graph only once. Is there like an example of a function which is a function but not one-to-one? Well, there are infinitely many yet again, just like so often in mathematics. Really doesn't matter. We can use a fourth degree polynomial, for example, graphed into a coordinate system. I mean, it's a function, okay? Vertical line test, pretty good, works out nicely. But what about our horizontal line test? Well, if we take a look at this right here, hey, we are going to intersect, hey, that's pretty good. We are going to intersect our graph in 3 points. Meaning, this right here is a function, but it's not one-to-one. Meaning it's not invertible, you could say. And that's basically it. This concludes this tiny little video about some basic stuff regarding functions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment, channel flag. If you know about someone who needs help with mathematics, especially calculus and whatsoever, then make sure to recommend this channel to him, also to your teacher. Maybe he finds it good what I do here. And until the next video, I wish you guys a fun day. Ciao!